Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Ba'ishim, Barakah Kudash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh Ba'ishim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to Ya'akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'll be reading from an article on RT.com titled, UF Open for Business, Britain's Royal Air Force to Declassify X-Files Kept in Secret for Years. After decades of secrecy, the UK's Royal Air Force will now publish its entire record of UFO sightings above British territory in an unprecedented move which is sure to spark even more conspiracy theories. And when you have an understanding of these scriptures, you know exactly what these so-called UFOs actually are. They're the chariots of the Most High. And with this uptick of chariots going on all across the planet, and these different heathen organizations, such as the Royal Air Force, the Pentagon, the U.S. Navy, and the Canadian government coming out and admitting to their existence, it's just even more of an indication that our salvation is near than when we believed Akim. Very shortly, Yahushai HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is going to return in a massive fathership chariot to save his elect and put an end to the rulership of the heathens, chiefly Esau, Edom. And with all that being the case, you sincere Akim should have all 10 toes down in this truth, pushing this word as hard as you possibly can to get beamed up on that chariot and saved from these calamities of Jacob's trouble, which we're in the beginning stages of right now. You can clearly see these pestilences, famines, earthquakes in diverse places, and uproars of the people going on all across the globe. The RAF closed down its UFO desk in 2009 after 50 years of reports in which no serious threat was identified. Records from this RAF unit were traditionally sent to the National Archives, where they were kept as classified documents. Now, however, the most recent reports will be placed in an online archive on a dedicated gov.uk page, according to a Freedom of Information request submitted by the PA News Agency. It had been assessed that it would be better to publish these records rather than continue sending documents to the National Archives, and so they are looking to put them onto a dedicated gov.uk webpage, a spokesperson for the RAF said. The declassification clearance process is already underway, and the spokesperson expects they will be published online sometime within the first quarter of 2020. And what is Apostle Tahar deemed 2020 to be? The year of prophecy, and we're only past the first month, and things have started off with a bang, and it's only going to get more exciting from here on out. Expect to see an even more uptick in chariot sightings out here, and they're going to be even more blatant in revealing themselves to the average person out here. The archives are comprised entirely of correspondence with members of the public who have had to file UFO sighting reports with local police since the RAF closed its UFO desk. The RAF spokesperson was careful not to confirm or deny the existence of aliens, however, merely stating that the MOD has no opinion on the existence or otherwise of extraterrestrial life and does not investigate UFO reports. BS. The powers that be know that these UFOs are the chariots of the Most High, and they know that these so-called aliens are actually the angels of the Most High. That's why these different nations are building up a space force, because they honestly believe that they're going to be able to fight and defeat Yahushai when he returns. But you're going to be utterly decimated when Yahushai returns. As recently as January 21st, there were UFO sightings over London, in broad daylight no less, so the new archives are likely to be a hotspot for X-Files enthusiasts and internet sleuths alike. And this is from Tristan Mays on Twitter. Anybody else in London spot this strange cluster of lights in the sky earlier? Definitely not drones, not satellites, and not stars as they moved away slowly, but the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ishim Yahushai.
Holy fuck. I don't know if you can see, there is currently UFOs over the top of London. Shit, where the fuck are all these coming from? There's 1, 2, 3, fucking iPhone. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 white orbs, all hanging over London. Fuck.
And those glowing orbs are the forms the chariots usually come in when they appear before the brothers. But the chariots can come in any shape or size they want. Those glowing orbs, they can come looking like literal clouds. They can come looking like your traditional flying saucers. And they can even come looking like peak elephants if they want to. The chariots aren't bound by the laws and physics of man. They're able to manipulate matter at will. I'm done with this article. And I'm going to go to another article on RT.com titled, Watch UFO Spotted in Skies Over Mexican Volcano Seconds After Eruption. And this chariot right here looks like your more traditional flying saucer. And best believe that this chariot caused this volcano in Mexico to erupt. Mexico's highly active Popocatépetl volcano began its latest eruption on Monday evening, but mysterious, fast-moving lights in the vicinity immediately after the explosion prompted major concerns online. Government-run webcams monitor Popocatépetl, and eagle-eyed netizens spotted what appeared to be a UFO in the skies above shortly after it began spewing ash following a massive volcanic explosion late Monday evening. From Webcams de Mexico on Twitter. Beautiful. And here's another image. You see that chariot looks like a disc. That's it with this article. Now let's get into some precepts. As I said at the beginning of the video, Yahushua is returning in that massive fathership chariot not only to save his elect, but to go to war with you heathens and end your rulership. This is Luke 21. I'm going to start at 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, signs that the Most High gives to the average person to let them know that he's about to do something major. And for these past couple of years, there have been lunar eclipses, solar eclipses, blood moons, blue moons, worm moons, wolf moons, you name it. And this Saturday, there's going to be a snow moon. And upon the earth, distress of nations, the uproars of the people in 2nd Esdras chapter 9, and you can clearly see that there have been people rioting all across the planet, in France, Hong Kong, South America, Iraq, Lebanon, etc., with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts or their minds failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And from that clip of that British guy filming the chariots, you could tell that he was real perplexed and kind of nervous when he was looking at that chariot. He was saying, fuck, and what is that a lot? And it's going to be even worse when these chariots make themselves more known, and especially when Yahushua cracks those clouds and comes in that fathership chariot. It says that men will have heart attacks in those days and die of fear. Verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man, Yahushua HaMashiach, coming in a cloud, the chariot, with power and great glory. Real quick, Psalms 104, I'm going to read verse 1 to 3. Bless Yahweh, O my soul, O Yahweh my power, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. And the scriptures Clouds are symbolic and synonymous for the chariots, but the chariots are also described as flying rolls, silver shields, a wheel within a wheel, you name it. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Our salvation is near than when we believed, Akim. Now I'm going to go to Revelation 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, that chariot, the elect, the 144,000 and the rest of the righteous 1/3 getting beamed up into the sky by that so-called tractor beam into the chariot, and their enemies beheld them. All eyes will see the elect ascending up into the sky in that day, and they shall be fearful and perplexed at the strangeness of our salvation. As it says in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, I'm going to read verse 1 through 5. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors, the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, diligently out there on the highways and byways pushing this word, being as bold as lions, as well as putting up video epistles like this, not swayed by the vain opinions of 2/3 of you Israelites and you heathen nations, chiefly Esau, Edom. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. The last thing anyone expects to see is a bunch of niggers, spics, and tontos getting beamed up into the sky. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, This was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. You Israelites are full of shit. There's no way a so-called black man is going to come in a UFO to save you. You're not Israelites. You're black, Latino, Mexican, Native American, African American, American, etc., etc. Oh, you Israelites are just angry and use the Bible to vent your frustrations because you don't have a woman and you don't have a job. You're just Bumalites. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? And once the elect are safely secured on the chariot, then Yahushua is really going to crack his knuckles on you heathens in 2/3. This is Revelation 19. I'm going to read verse 11 through 15. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. Yahushua cracking those clouds and returning in that fathership chariot. And that white horse just means the chariot, just like the cloud meant the chariot. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, symbolizing Yahushua taking away the rulership of the heathens. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, which is symbolic for the amount of death and destruction Yahushua is bringing to you heathens in 2/3, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, angels in chariots, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. That concentrated heat, or those so-called laser beams being shot from the chariots. And the main place that Yahushua is going to get to work on you heathens in is in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, or that Middle Eastern region during the War of Armageddon. Because prior to Yahushua returning, you heathen nations are going to be fighting down in the Middle East. And the elect are going to have a front row seat to see you heathens stop fighting each other to try to fight Yahushua with your military hardware and your space force, and to get utterly decimated. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the almighty power. And Akim, if we endure all these afflictions that are about to come our way during Jacob's trouble, then we're going to be joint heirs with Yahushua and also rule over these nations with a rod of iron. This is Romans 8, verse 17 through 18. And if children, then heirs, heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together, if we endure all things like a good soldier of Yahushua Hamashiach unto the bitter end. If it's your lot to be a martyr in this truth, then so be it, because as it says in verse 18, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. You're going to receive 100-fold in the kingdom, and you're going to live forever with those new spiritual bodies. You're also going to be the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven, putting this world back in order, and again, ruling these nations with a rod of iron. And we're also going to replace that stony heart with that fleshly heart and have the laws, statutes, and commandments in us, and we'll never go off again and commit iniquity. Now I'm going to close it out in Revelation 2, 25 to 27, just to further hammer in that point. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come, this truth, having all 10 toes down, pushing this word as hard as you can to make that calling and election sure. Again, if it's unto the death, then so be it. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. You're finally going to get vengeance on these heathens that have tormented us in the past, all the way up until today, chiefly these Edomites. So with this video, I hope you sincere Akim were edified. And as always, I'm going to say Abba Bo, Kwam Yasharala. Till next time, Shalom.